Hi team, my name is RP Winters, and today is a bit of a different video. I went on an adventure this week, that's why you basically had no videos last week, sorry. Now that restrictions have lifted, I've finally been able to go see my family up in Scotland, so I took a few little videos, so I'll show you them, and we'll have a little chat on the way, and let's have a catch up. So the journey up to Scotland is something that I've done a lot throughout my childhood. The majority of my mum's family is up there, so we used to go up sort of at least once a year. You know, some years we've managed to get up sort of 2 or 3 times, but it's a long old drive, let me tell you that. It's roughly about sort of 6, 7, quite often 8 or 9 hours. It really does depend on traffic. You know, if you get no traffic at all, you could probably do it in about 7, but I think for us it took us about 8 this time. Some of the roads were pretty rough, but overall, the weather was interesting. So this is also the first year that I've taken a go at some of the driving this time. So normally it's just my dad that does all the driving, but I drove for a few hours on this one. And of course, when I started driving, the rain came lashing down, which you'll see in a bit. But basically, this trip was interesting for me. I obviously, like I said, I managed to see some family, but then I also sort of sat about a lot, which is something that I haven't been able to do for quite a while. I've been very busy, as sort of I caught you guys up in my previous video, linked above. But it's something that I sort of needed. I needed that little bit of, you know, self-care time, that time to sort of sit, to think through a lot of things, catch up on some reading, and just sort of think about my new project as well. Think about where I want that to go and what I want it to be. Because, as I've sort of said, again in a previous video, linked above, that, you know, it was inspired by something that was sort of a long time ago for me. You know, I came up with the idea, as I called it, Jesus Cave idea, well, a good few years ago now. You know, I was in college. That's already, what, 4 years ago, I think. You know, 3-4 years ago. Here's the rain. Yeah, this is not me driving, just to clarify. This was some of the rain before I took over. And then now we're in Scotland, and that's why the weather's awful. The project's sort of a bit odd, and it's gone through a few sort of iterations already. You know, I don't even know what my first draft could have been, because I've sort of redone it so many times. But I've sort of got this idea in my head that it'd be really fun to have each chapter basically like a different person, like a different voice. You know, I'm not talking like multi-character here, but I'm talking sort of multi-exploration. You know, I'm looking at the idea of, you know, what is it about the desert that I find interesting? Why do I want to write about it? And I think for me, it's the idea of sort of it's so vast and it's so almost empty looking, but it's so vibrant of life. And I think I sort of want to focus on some of those smaller bits, you know, the smaller moments that you get in a life that can be focused on and can be turned into something really beautiful. And, you know, things may look empty, but they're really not.
So it's day 1. I'm in like a swinging chair. This is so fun.
Here's me, my mum, and my gran. We're going on a train to Edinburgh. So this was another day that we did. Here's my current read. I've been reading The House in the Dark of the Woods by Laird Hun. I've now finished it. I loved it. It was such a great book. I will talk to you more about that in a different video. But this is our journey to Edinburgh. And it was really nice. We had a lovely time. The thing I also noticed in Edinburgh is that part of what I love about Edinburgh is a lot of the sort of gothic architecture. And it really reminded me of some of my sort of more horror roots that I really enjoy. Obviously, the thing with like horror is, you know, how do I really build that into sort of this historical sort of fiction that I'm sort of new to writing. But I've had a few sort of ideas crop up, so hopefully I will be able to blend in a lot of my style into this new design. What you've just seen is a couple of clips, by the way. It was the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, so I managed to catch a few little bits here and there. But obviously, as you can see, Edinburgh's just a beautiful city. I just love being in Edinburgh. I went to Blackwell's, I went to quite a few little bookstores, I picked up a whole bunch of books. Then I will give you a book haul video anytime soon. I also went to Greyfriars, Greyfriars Bobby's sort of graveyard thing. It's quite famous for She Who Shall Not Be Named, did a lot of that series there. As you can see, sort of a few names probably look familiar. But it's also famous for the story of Greyfriars Bobby, which, if you guys don't know, go look it up. It's so cute. It's this guy and his dog, and when the guy died, his dog, like, sat by his grave, like, every day. Oh, it's adorable. So go check that out. But part of, obviously, being in this grave as well, it also reminded me of sort of this more gothic style that I love. And I'm really thinking, like, I need to consider coming back to it. And I also, of course, could not share a Scotland vlog to you guys without showing you some bagpipes. So lovely and traditional. It's right down the road from the castle, Edinburgh Castle, which you're just about to see here, which is home to the Edinburgh Tattoo. If you guys have sort of ever watched that, the Royal Tattoo, it's quite like a big famous thing over in the UK. I'm not too sure how globally it's watched though, but who knows. And the view up here was just stunning. You know, it was lovely. It was so almost like idyllic, and it's so weird because you can see so many different like eras of architecture there. And here's some more street performers and stuff, part of the Fringe, and just sort of in general sort of city life. And it's such a contrast to what I'm writing. You know, this is so natural beauty and full of vibrant life everywhere because it's a city, and obviously I'm writing about the desert, but it's reminded me sort of, you know, part of the desert is it's sort of it's its own city. And so it's really given me a lot to think about in my writing. Actually, it's been such a lovely trip, and it's been really useful for me as a writer. And of course I had to end this vlog with this beautiful shot of the Waterstones at Edinburgh, where you can sit here, you can have a lovely read, and there's the view of the castle right there. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this slightly different video. I will catch you up next time. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.